Man, I love Dr. Ross. He was awesome. If he can just keep having conversations with kids for the rest of all time, I think kids would be all right at Kingsbury. Man, unbelievable. Dr. Ross is awesome. My name's Shane Young, and look, if you want to protest something in this country, let's say, racial inequalities, you might be demonized, especially if you block a road, inconvenience somebody. But if your team wins the championship, you're just, passionate and celebrating. We got a sports obsession in this country. It's a little bit of a problem. There's some negatives going on here. And we justify it at the highest levels of our political structure. Can you believe the president gets to meet the Red Sox, the Cowboys, the Patriots? Oh wait, it's the other way around, right? The Red Sox, the Patriots, the Cowboys, they got to meet the president. We justify our glorification and obsession with sports. We've got an obsession with sports in our country, and as educators, we have to become obsessed with capitalizing on our sports obsession for education in our kids. We have to. You just saw a graph that shows the salaries in our country, and we justify it with our economics as well. Okay? Public salaries go the highest paid people with our tax dollars are football and basketball coaches. Marshawn Lynch had an interview where he just said, I'm just here so I won't get fined. And we put the cameras and the microphones on him, and we pay attention to one quote. Then we give some negative examples. We pay attention to these athletes on social media and real media. The highest follows are celebrities, politicians, and athletes. We listen to these people. Here's a problem in Memphis. Okay, how much could you do at your school, educators, with just 1% of these salaries? These guys aren't doing a good job. Chandler Parsons, Tubby Smith won't even recruit in Memphis schools, and he's getting paid a ridiculous salary. How much could you do with a little bit of that? So sports obsession's a little bit of a problem. Here's how we can capitalize on it. Some people already capitalize on it. Sports merchandise, fantasy sports. By the way, those were billion-dollar figures. 15 plus 8, whatever that is, billion. That's what we're putting into it. Everybody in this room knows these statistics. Memphis has problems, socioeconomics, inequalities. The big one here, okay, is that household income is the #1 indicator of after-school activity participation. So if you don't make a lot of money at home or your folks don't, you probably aren't doing anything at school. You're actually probably doing something negative after school between the hours of 2 and 6. It's crazy. Okay, I met this guy in 2012, and we were 22 at the time. We're both teachers. I'm still a teacher. And the conversation was like, dude, what if we can make sports change schools? Okay, and that's what it was like. And so we founded an organization called Memphis Inter-City Rugby to bring a non-traditional sport into schools and use it to galvanize academic achievement. Because too many sports teams and coaches aren't doing that. They're just trying to win on the court, on the field, and not off the field and for the rest of their lives. So we got to run with our kids, and man, Memphis kids are special. Look how much fun they're having. That's at their first practice ever in 2012, y'all. And these kids are so special. They embrace a non-traditional sport like rugby. And you see those smiles on their faces? We got to make school more like sports because kids are obsessed with sports. I am too. And we got to make them just as fun as school. School needs to be just as fun as sports, rather. And y'all know this. Look, sports has other effects. Higher income, reduced healthcare costs. You name it. These kids grow up after playing sports, being part of a team, to be better parents, role models, teachers, leaders. And this is how you do it. You reduce the costs. You eliminate the costs. You put teams in schools. You build coaches up to promote values while they're coaching. And these are the results you get with boys and girls. When you challenge kids, okay, they learn to win. They learn to lose. They sweat. They learn to get in shape. They learn to get along with others. They learn to compete peacefully. And it transcends that. Because you have mentors who build lifelong relationships with kids. When you have an African-American team playing against a white team from northern Tennessee in the country, you break down misunderstandings that exist across these communities that are isolated and would not otherwise exist. All of a sudden they're competing, and then they're holding hands after the game, talking about how they just kicked each other's butt. It breaks down barriers. These are some kids that we've coached, and they've built our program on a non-traditional sport. They're phenomenal young men, and now they're playing Division I rugby on Division I scholarships at Division I institutions. Now look, it's not about Division I scholarships. It's about building a community around these young men and women to carry them forward in life, teach them the lessons, how to win, how to lose, how to lead, And this is what's going to change Memphis and our schools. Thank you.